Yep. My hair's a mess. Uh, the worst part about the worst. Is there a worst part? I said, what's the? I'm like, the worst part is it's black and white thinking. It's always the worst part is about surviving a really bad, like really creeped out narcissistic marriage is when they remarry and do it again to somebody else, and then they leave, and then they try to talk about it years later, and then all the kids are like, like, is this what happened to me yesterday? And the thing is, I have no way of knowing if the second wife is just wigging out or if this person's telling wild untruths in addition to the truths about this narcissistic person. And I'm like, oh no! And then I got drug in it, and apparently my words, there was words added to what I said. Apparently I said things that I didn't say, and I'm just like, oh, wow. And young people are hurting over it today. And I mean, I feel like an asshole for being drawn into the whole thing in the first place. I was asked to give a little bit of my experience, and I said, well, I tell me the whole story. This other child in this family said, I'm not going to tell you my whole story. I mean, I don't have time nor the inclination. I want to talk about this whole story ever again, but what is it that you're particularly interested in? Like, there must be something that you want to hear. Well, I want to know your experience about this arena or this area in your life with your ex-husband. And just like, well, this happened, and that's it. That's it. I'm sorry that this happened, and this is what happened to me, and this is true. Well, like a particular kind of abuse, and then she's like, oh, and then all of a sudden it's on. And suddenly it is being said that I said a whole bunch of things I didn't say. And I levities a whole bunch of accusations against somebody I levity accusations that were true, but then some ones were piled on top that I'd never said. So I gotta excuse myself from this circus. And I'm like, oh no. And it's just a drag when you think you're relating to another survivor, and you are. And then you find out it's entirely possible they're being manipulated by this person as well. Not that this person didn't go through the pains and things that you did. They did. But for some reason, they just need to pile a little bit more onto it and turn it into something it really wasn't in order to manipulate me into inviting them over or let them stay a while. Or this person is typically looking for somewhere to live often. And it's like, I can't do this anymore. I wish this person the best. I feel like I've been drawn into something and it has brought harm rather than help. But I'm hoping that what'll happen is, because all that happened, that maybe then, now that I'm exited, I'm like, I'm not going to participate anymore, that perhaps enough truth will get. I don't think enough truth is ever going to get out, because the narrative is being woven daily and twisted and and repeated, the false narrative. So I'm like, I have to live with the false narrative about me. That's just all there is to it. These young people some of them may believe that I did say certain things even if I didn't. So I'm kind of stuck. So I'm not talking to anybody else about this, because there's no way to speak on it and have it be on the record. There's no record. It's just whatever's going on. And, she said that you did this. No, I didn't. I did say they did this, and this, but I didn't say that. So yeah, if it's going to be like that, this is unproductive as fuck. And, the narrative runs, and that the person, the top narcissist sits at the top of the heap, and no one can dare speak a word against this incredible person. So that's my day, man. I was so upset all night. Apparently, I emptied you'd think I did a bowel cleanse this morning, man. My entire intestines from the top. I'm like, the stress of it all. I'm like, yeah, well, I've just had a cleansing. I feel foolish. I made a poor choice because I didn't want this woman dangling saying my kid doesn't believe me. You got to tell her it's true. It is true. That part. That part is true. But all the other stuff that I was told was said, I don't know. No, I didn't have that experience. So, shit. Be careful when you're healing. You think you're healed. You think you're not going to get drawn in again. You will. You can. I mean, it's possible. I'm just saying it's possible. My heart was beating so hard, I should have not said anything until my heart was a normal heart rate and different things. Like, I think that maybe I would have went about things way different. I do think I would have said different things, and I may not have revealed anything, and I might not. I think I could have done it better, and I wish I'd have done it better. But I ignored the fact that my heart was pounding out of my chest, and I'm thinking, I got to grow up. No, I have to honor the fact that this subject makes my heart beat out of my chest, and I feel it took me right back 30 years ago to what was, and I'm like, I mean, emotionally, it was just like, oh, and I should have just realized what was happening before I assisted in causing more damage to the situation. But I didn't. And now I'm stuck with it. So I'm out. I'm so sorry for all the participants for... Is there a time you can speak your truth out of turn? I guess that's what I did. I spoke truth out of turn. I don't know. I don't know. It gets so muddy sometimes, you don't know what to do. It's like when your little kids are screaming and crying on the phone, why won't you come get us? We want to come home. And their father's telling them, she doesn't want you. I didn't know this for years. She just pretends to want you so that you won't think she doesn't want you. That's what he told them. I'm like, Jesus criminy! Yeah, that happened to me. So I'm like, I hate to use that word, triggered. I was triggered. Oh, but not as bad as I would have been 5 years ago. Thank God. Okay? So it was a limited boo-boo. It was less than what I would have done 10 years ago. So I have to forgive myself and move on. See you later, YouTube.